It is 3 minutes to 2. You're still listening to WFM 91.7 Women Radio, WFM 91.7, Nigeria's first radio station for women and their families. We'd like to let you know that a very special program will be coming up today at 2 p.m. It is going to be a simulcast on WRAPA 100.5 FM and Women Radio 91.7. Is going to be a special program, and the theme will be about discussing FCT elections and women making a difference as candidates, voters, and electoral stakeholders. The guest speakers are Mufuliat Fijabi, the CEO of Nigerian Women Trust Fund, NWTF, Felicia Onibon, National Coordinator, 100 Women Lobby Group, and Osuji Chika, Deputy Director, General Relations, UNI, INEC. This program is in partnership with the Nigerian Women Trust Fund, Women's Rights Advancement and Protection Alternative, WRAPA, Women in Politics Forum, ElectHer, 100 Women Lobby Group, and MacArthur Foundation. The numbers to call to join the conversation will be 0818-427-0265 or 0818-427-0287. Once again, 0818-427-0265 or 0818-427-0287. You can also send text or WhatsApp messages on 070-317-56537, 070-317-56537. We're also going to be live on www.repower.fm and www.wfm917.com. You can watch us live on YouTube and Facebook as well at WFM 917. We'll be linking up with WRAPA 100.5 live at 2 p.m. Please do stay tuned for this very special program.
Oh, sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is. We made mistakes during the oil boom, not knowing that was our doom. Some people now have everything, while many have nothing. Let's save Nigeria, so Nigeria will fall. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Which way to go? I love my fatherland. Oh yeah, I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria is heading to? Green revolution is the reality. Let's give it a chance to grow. Let's join our hands to farm the land so we can have enough food to show. Let's save Nigeria so Nigeria won't die. Which way Nigeria? Which way Nigeria? Which way to go? Way to go. I love my fatherland. Oh sure. I want to know. Yes, I want to know. Which way Nigeria? Our ambition to be millionaires.
So good to know you're out there. Time check, 2 o'clock. You're listening to WRAPA 100.5 FM, and it's good to know that you're out there enjoying the very best of the day. Well, if you haven't had something for lunch, I will suggest you do right now. But if you're too busy for that and want to engage with us, this is the appropriate time to do that, so we can have you on radio, bringing you the very best of program at this time. It's good to entrench democracy and ensure that women participation in politics is highly imperative. Looking at the statistics and then also the charter for women participation in politics is also great to have more discourse of this kind. And that's why we are bringing you this program on a day like this. days. My name is Osaro Ihato. First, let me let you know that a report released by the Center for Democracy and Development, CDD, after the 2019 elections showed only 4.17% of women have been recorded to be elected as officials. And should this figure hold, it would represent a decline from the 2015 to 2019 period, where women formed 5.65% of elected officials. All right, I welcome you to a simulcast broadcast on WRAPA 100.5 Abuja and Women Radio 91.7 Lagos, as we sensitize women on the importance of voting, especially for the upcoming election in the FCT. Today on this program, we will be discussing the FCT elections and women making a difference as candidates, voters, and electoral stakeholders. This program is in partnership with the Nigerian Women Trust Fund, Women's Right Advancement and Protection Alternative, Women in Politics Forum, ElectHer, 100 Women Lobby Group, and MacArthur Foundation. Well, we have guests right here in the studios, and I will be running this concurrently, hoping that we will be able to fine-tune and provide solutions to some of those factors inhibiting or limiting women from participating in politics, narrowing it down to the upcoming election on Saturday in the Federal Capital Territory. Our guest speakers are Mufuliat Fijabi, the CEO of Nigerian Women Trust Fund. You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, we also have Osuji Chika. She is the Deputy Director, Gender and Inclusivity Department at INEC. Welcome, madam.
It's my pleasure.
We also have here Felicia Onibon, the National Coordinator, 100 Women Lobby Group.
Good afternoon.
So good to have you, and you're welcome. Now, remember, like I said earlier, there are numbers to call as we run this program simultaneously on Women Radio 91.7 Lagos, as well as WRAPA 100.5 FM in Abuja. So there are numbers to call to be part of this program. I will let you know right about now so you can have it while the conversation is going on. And later on, where we open the phone lines, you can have your say. Now, the numbers to call to join this conversation are 0818 4270 265 or 0818 4270 287. Again, 0818 4270 265, as well as 0818 4270 287. And don't forget, you can text and WhatsApp this number 0703 175 6537. 0703 175 6537. And also, for those who are on the go, we are live on www.rapa.fm and www.wfm917.com. We are on YouTube and Facebook as well. That is at WFM917. Well, it is also a good one to begin the program by letting the women right here in the studio tell us exactly. I would love to begin with, it's important to start on the note that the election is coming very, very soon enough in Abuja. I believe this will be the first election that will be conducted by INEC this year. And to let us into this conversation, Madam Chika, please, you want to inform us and let the audience know the FCT election takes place this Saturday. And can you talk to us, tell us more, and talk us through this?
Thank you very much. The FCT election is coming on Saturday, the 12th February 2022. INEC has put a lot of things in place in terms of materials. Procurement of materials has been adequately done. The training of the officials, election officials, has also been concluded. And the training and the selection of the security officials who will secure the polling units and the materials, including the election officials, have also been done. And most of the election materials, particularly what we call the non-sensitive materials, have been distributed, taken down to the area councils where this election is going to take place. Again, INEC, through the Gender and Inclusivity Department, has done a lot of sensitization meetings at the various area councils, the 6 area councils in FCT. They have taken the sensitization of women for their increased participation in this forthcoming election. They have taken it to them, as well as outreaches, that is market outreaches and town hall meetings to sensitize women on the importance of their participation, increased participation come 12th February FCT election, council election.
Okay. Well, we know that the area council election is unique to the grassroots and then also to Nigeria, just like a litmus test for more elections upcoming. Now, in terms of sensitization, you mentioned that earlier. To what level has it gone, talking about bringing women from the grassroots to know that there will be election on this particular day, 12th February 2022?
Like I said earlier, this sensitization has been taken down to the grassroots. We held what we called grassroots sensitization of women for their increased participation in this election and subsequent elections. And this we have done in all the 6 area councils, as well as going to the market in these 6 area councils, different places to sensitize those in the market, sharing of flyers, to teach women, to tell them that they should come out, and then assure them that when they do, their vote will count. Again, INEC has put in place many more measures, like the creation of extra polling units to ease out the traffic of voters on election day, and then this will help women to be rest assured that when they appear on election day, there won't be much pressure on when you talk of the number coming out. Again, INEC has introduced a new device. This device is called BVAS, that is by Voters Accreditation System. This is a new device which will ease off the pressure on election day. It makes it easier for accreditation for everybody, for the voters, and by so doing, I think it goes a long way in helping women who would have ordinarily felt that coming out will be a huge tax for them, but when they now realize that the new system is so efficient, whereby it captures both the fingerprints and the face. Okay. And if it fails to capture the fingerprints, it will definitely capture your face. And by so doing, I think it is enough measure put in by INEC to assure women that their vote will count eventually on the election.
Thank you so much, Chika. Seems like a lot has been done on the path of INEC. Now let's take it to the civil society and other stakeholders. To Felicia, you represent quite a huge gap for women, and I would like to know, what should women in FCT expect?
Well, for the expectation of women in FCT, I think first I would like to say that a lot of women in FCT are aware of this whole process. They are aware of the fact that election is coming, and they're ready. We have had the opportunity of engaging with women across the area councils, and they are not only going to participate as we know it. Their participation had gone to the extent of talking to the candidates, engaging the candidates and asking them what the various candidates are going to do when they get there. They've gone to the extent of actually getting the candidates to sign with them, that they have given their words, and that their words won't just be, voice, that the words are legible, you know, so that these words can actually be taken to them when they get into office. And for me, that was an interesting part of participation for women, because we know that a lot of women in the past, when you see so many women participating, particularly when you see them voting, when you see them coming out at campaigns, we all will clap and say, oh, women are participating. But in actual fact, FCT has given us an idea that we can go a step further. And the women that were asking questions, both around Amak and in Kuje area, in the rural areas, you get women actually coming out to ask the candidates, what they have for women. That was very interesting for me, and I believe it sends a feeler to the system, because most of the women that were asking questions were community women. They were women who spoke Bagi alone. Some of them spoke Hausa alone, and they wanted to know. So for me, FCT women are actually ready. They are prepared, and they are going to vote their conscience. They are going to. They have told us that they are not just going to vote for voting's sake, or they haven't been cajoled by anybody. But if anybody comes to cajole them to vote for a particular reason, they will still want to vote for the reasons that they speak at the various forum that we've had them engaging.
Right.
So participation of women in FCT is going to be good, and it will be a pointer to a lot of things that will happen in the future.
Okay, great. Also, Mufuliat Fijabi also represents a key figure as the CEO of Nigerian Women Trust Fund. You also must have done some things out there. You also want to tell us, what should women expect?
Yes, women should expect a lot on the day of the election, which is February 12th, just a few hours from now, in terms of they participating actively as voters in the election. We also have female candidates in the election, and we have women who are also key electoral stakeholders who will be part of those who will be managing the elections. So the difference that we should expect, that and we hope will be a lead reality, is that we have women turning out en masse to vote based on their conscience. The participation of women in election is actually a step towards achieving a proper inclusion process when it comes to democratic practices, not just in Nigeria, but globally as well. So we expect that the coming out of women in the 6 area councils of Abuja on Saturday will bring out very important trends in terms of women's participation in elections. And I must say that the preparation level is on top speed. I still want to use this platform to encourage women to actually get their PVCs ready. Be sure that they know where they're going to vote. It's not just to be ready. Have your PVC, know where you're supposed to vote. If you have questions, ask. INEC is always there. And you can also check their platforms. You can reach out to key stakeholders on how to go about the election on that particular day. So the difference is that women will make a difference by coming out to vote on that day. And they are not just going to vote, they're going to vote for candidates of their choice who will impact positively on their lives.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, let's take it back to the electoral umpire, because there are instances where we observe a situation whereby logistics materials are distributed and it doesn't get to, you made mention of the fact that sensitive materials, non-sensitive have been distributed. We also have the sensitive materials and also the bimodal voter accreditation system, which is new. All these put together, how will you explain the level of preparedness by INEC and what procedures are in place, especially to reach those terrain where rugged areas, those terrain that house rugged areas and difficult to reach? You cannot easily access some areas where you have to take bikes and other vehicular activity movements might not be able to get to on time. So what's in place, talking about the level of preparedness by INEC?
Yes, thank you. INEC has provided a situation whereby most of these materials are sent to the local governments down to the collation centers prior to the date of the election. This is to ensure that all the materials that are supposed to be at that level got there before the election day. And in the area of staff, they have officials, they have trained all the relevant election officials effectively and ready, harness the list and ready to deploy them to the centers where they're going to officiate on the election day, and as well as the security officers are already trained and they all have been deployed in advance to know where they have the list already, to know where they're going to officiate on the election day. So the materials, particularly the non-sensitive materials, are usually shared ahead of time before they get to the venues where they are going to be used. Whereas the sensitive materials, that's the ballot papers and the result sheets, will come later. They are shared early hours of the election morning.
Okay, great. Now, this is not the first area council election in the FCT. We'll still have more later on, but specifically, Madam Felicia, why is this election so important to women at this time?
Nigerian women across the country, and FCT women, being part of them, are already very much aware of what's going on and the effect of the marginalization of women. And for this election, women in FCT have been sensitized enough, about the role that women can play within the system. And you will know that we are a patriarchal society, and many of them have this idea that men should lead, men should, but with the training, you see them asking questions that, okay, really, women can lead too. We have the women leaders in the market, and they are doing well. We have women leaders in the farmstead, and they are doing well. So why can't women also lead at the higher level? And you see them saying things like, we are happy that women are coming on board, women are coming to contest, and where we did not have women, some of them had regrets that, these women are not here to support us or to help us. But however, when you hear them ask questions, ask the men questions, then the men that we have today that are contesting election in FCT know that they cannot have it as usual. It's not a usual kind of election for FCT residents. In the sense that a lot of women are asking questions that they had never asked. And I am particularly interested now in the trend. How is the election going to be with this high level of awareness, in women within the FCT? And I believe by the end of Saturday, the trend that I'm envisaging will begin to come, because women have actually shown that strength. They have shown that that things are going to happen. There's going to be some kind of change. So I look forward to it.
All right, thank you. Well, in case you just tuned in, welcome. You're listening to WRAPA 100.5 Abuja, as well as Women Radio 91.7 Lagos. On this program, sensitizing women on the importance of voting, especially for the upcoming election in the FCT. We are focusing on FCT elections and women making a difference as candidates, voters, and electoral stakeholders. Don't forget, our guests are right here and the numbers are open now. So in case you want to call and be part of the show, you can be part of the conversation by calling 0818-4270-265. 0818-4270-265, as well as 0818-4270-287. And the WhatsApp number is 0703-175-6537. And we are live streaming on WRAPA.fm as well as www.wfm917.com. You can also check us out on YouTube and Facebook at WFM917. 915. Like I said earlier, we are running simultaneously on WRAPA and Women Radio 91.7 Lagos. Now, before we move on to our next question, seems like our callers are eager to talk to us at this time. So let's focus on them now and shift gears to them. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Shalom.
Good afternoon. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
It would be good to know your name and where you are calling from.
I'm calling in from Nana.
In Abuja. All right, let us know your question, please.
I want to ask a question to the in-house analyst. You see, we are talking about women in politics, and I want to ask, what have they been doing, those in the helm of affair now, to take a sort of fear out of women? Because some people consider politics, coming out to participate in politics as a very serious matter. Some say it's a dirty game, and whatever way they describe it. So, what are they doing to see that they build confidence or sort of
Just too bad. He could not continue with that. Well, sorry, you may have to call us back. We believe we can reconnect with you still on the same number. But quickly, let's have reactions to that question. Mufuliat, he mentioned to tackle or to take away fears. You know, most times election might be characterized by violence, and men are mostly the one, or the youth may be the one perpetrating this act of snatching ballot box or other effect that may contribute to, you know, disruption of the process. How are you going about sensitizing women and also allay fears or take away fears from women to ensure that there's party politics structured for them and also participation for women?
Yes, the fear is gradually going up because a lot of sensitization have gone into the process, and it would interest you that in these particular FCT elections coming up on Saturday, we have women who are also candidates to be voted for in the election. So if the fear is still there, we wouldn't have these women coming out to contest in the election. Out of the 363 persons contesting for the position of councilorships across the FCT election, we have 31 women who will be participating as candidates in that particular election. For the position of vice chairmanship candidates, we have 55, and 8 out of the 55 are actually women. For the position of the chairmanship, we have 55 altogether, and 3 women are actually contesting as candidates in this election. Even though the percentage is not very significant, not very high, but we are very happy that we are not, as women, just going out to vote on election day. We actually have women who are also contesting in this election. So the fear story is gradually being demystified. So women should not be afraid to come out to vote on election day and to be voted for as candidates in elections, whether in the FCT elections or in other elections in Nigeria. The representative of INEC spoke earlier on about the kind of engagement that INEC has done as the election management body to ensure that there is adequate security. And we're very optimistic as a society, as a community in Abuja here, that the election will be peaceful, and we encourage women and men alike to come out to vote on election day. They should get their PVCs ready, identify their polling units, and be prepared to go out. If women can contest in the election, what it means is that the election is going to be peaceful.
Okay. Well, just hold our thoughts, because I'm still going to stick with you. Let's look at it. Since you know that there's a growing number of women in politics now, and is gradually the statistics is building, what difference can women then make in politics?
Women can make a whole lot of difference.
Okay.
In fact, the little percentage of women we have now is also adding, vibrancy to the process. If women are not there at all, it means that we're losing every now and then. If you look at the security situation, the economic development of the country, women actually have significant contributions to make. They're not just coming there because of their female gender. They're coming there because they have the expertise, they have the knowledge, they have the experience that they can put on the table that can advance the country. If you look around the world generally now, people are talking about inclusive governance process, inclusive democratic practice. And you also look at our own National Assembly, the 9th Assembly, has done a great job in terms of pushing forward the 111 additional seats, which is a recognition of the fact that the people in Nigeria represented by the National Assembly acknowledge and believe in the fact that women have a role to play. While we wait for the for the bill to become a law, we are very, very happy with the process so far and hope that it will impact more on Nigeria. And I'd like to also emphasize that you cannot practice democracy without inclusion. Inclusion is critical. Inclusion is important. For women to be on the table, it's not about their female sex. It's about the knowledge that they need to bring onto the table. If you have men taking charge of affairs relating to health, relating to security, then there will be continuous gap. But if women are adequately represented, as also propounded by the UN Resolution 1325, what it means is that there will be a fast track of the process to reach our development level. And if we look around the world, in countries where women are making adequate contributions, there's a difference. Okay. And we need to make a better difference in Nigeria. Thank you.
Making a better difference in Nigeria starts with women. Okay, let's begin with the WhatsApp message we've received so far. We have a particular one here which caught my attention and must ask. Shola from Magboro asks this question. It says, for women with disabilities, are there provisions for them? For women with disabilities, are there provisions for them? Knowing fully well that INEC has a gender and inclusivity department, I will also want to ask Chika, what are the provisions for women with disabilities? Sometimes there always a complaint of being disenfranchised because of disabilities.
To recognize the fact that INEC supports and still supporting the inclusivity in electoral process. That's why INEC has created a department, which is the Gender and Inclusivity Department, which takes care of all the vulnerable group, which includes the women, the youth, and people with disability. And in so doing, a lot of trainings, sensitization has gone into the system, trying to assure the people with disability that they have lost nothing, that they have equal opportunity, equal right to participate in the electoral process. By so doing, for this election and other elections, INEC has prepared for them by the provision of Braille, for them to be able to identify to be able to vote on election day. Okay. And some magnifying glasses for those with albino who will be needing it to make their informed choice on election day. INEC has taken into consideration the position of the people with disability and other vulnerable groups.
It's good to know that INEC has taken into account that there will be people with disabilities who will be coming on that day. But look at this, a situation whereby those who may not be able to use the Braille and those who are not familiar with these devices, like the beavers, how then can we support them to vote?
Yes, INEC also has trained a lot of people who will assist them in the use of these items on election day. INEC also put into consideration the creation of a separate queue for those with disabilities in order not to suffer any challenge on the election day.
Okay, all right, that's important. Now, Madam Felicia, let's also focus on the security threats in the area. You want to tell us one or two how you've been able to encourage women to come out, that security operatives have been ensured by INEC, which I believe will be on ground. So did you meet any stiff opposition from women that, we do come out on that day, at the end of the day we find out that thugs are willing to disrupt the process, so we may not be able to vote. So how were you able to counter that narrative?
Yeah, strange enough, I actually had thought that a lot of women will be telling us stories like we don't really think we'll come out to vote because of the security situation. Rather, the narrative was slightly different. It was that of women saying they are ready, and that they have quite a few vigilantes in most of the communities, and that just as INEC is making its own preparation, the vigilantes are making their own preparations, and they are sort of confident that the election will be stress-free when it comes to security situations. And another thing is that the community leaders had been very supportive of this process and are also helping INEC, I will say, to tell both the women and the men that the elections will actually be free of violence. So it's now in the ball of the politicians themselves, for them to actually engage with their people, to bring in the normal sportsmanship, style that we get in sporting events, where when the winner comes up, everybody embrace whoever it is, So, but as for the women, I think they are actually ready. They are not afraid. Many of them are farmers. They complained about being attacked in farmlands, but that the tempo seemed to have gone down. And some of them say maybe because of the election, and I mean, these are words that I actually thought we were going to be hearing things different. I was afraid that perhaps they are going to be saying things like, we have been punished enough out there in the farms, we don't want anything to do with this election, or rather the story is different, and I know that for them to be talking that way, because most of them are women leaders, they are in charge of different groups. It means they are talking about it amongst themselves. It means that INEC had done its work, I believe, in terms of the issue of sensitization.
But we're still coming back to INEC.
Yeah, because I was taken aback by that kind of feeling, which means that this election indeed is something we should look out for. It will also tell us what will happen in other elections. Though the area council election could be seen as a smaller election when it comes to state elections. But then it's important for us to see what happens during this election.
All right. Yeah. Before we go to INEC, that is Chika, I would like also from Mufuliat to tell us how well do you perceive security presence at the election day?
Security and election, they are almost synonymous, because a lot of the times everyone relies on them to get the process delivered. And to the best of my knowledge, a lot of engagement has gone into the process to work with all the security agencies, with INEC coordinating, of course. And this is not a first election in Nigeria, and some of the security personnel to be deployed are already familiar with the situation, but would also like to still encourage them to put out their friendly faces on election day and support the process wholeheartedly. Listen to all the training techniques that they've received, and also be willing to communicate if there are areas of challenges. There are usually control rooms on election days where they can communicate and pass information to, should there be need to do so. We are very optimistic that all will be well. On the election day, we encourage voters, women and men alike, to come out and vote on election day. We expect the highest level of performance from security personnel. They should remember that they're serving their country, Nigeria, and there shouldn't be any aggression towards voters. There shouldn't be bearing of arms amongst voters. They should mind their business of security and not interfere in the election process. We have a lot of trust in them, and we believe that they will deliver and not disappoint us on 12th of February.
Thank you. We believe they will deliver and not disappoint. Well, it's 27 minutes before 3 o'clock. You just tuned in. Welcome. This program is a simulcast on WRAPA 100.5 FM Abuja and Women Radio 91.7 in Lagos. Now, the numbers to call once again to be part of this conversation is 0818-4270-265 or 0818-4270-265. 287. Again, 0818-4270-265 or 0818-4270-287. Now, for the WhatsApp order, it is 0703-175-6537. From the WhatsApp, before we get to the WhatsApp, a caller is on the line. Quickly, let's attend to that. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Shalom. Thanks for calling back.
Okay, nice to know you're back with us now. So, I believe the first question was...
my first question was, how do they intend to eradicate fears in women to enable them participate fully in politics? And the second question is, what kind of women are we expecting in politics? Because when you look at some women, considering that some of them has been burdened by family and the cares of family, and some of them, when they bring issues that bothers them from the family to the public participating in politics, see them becoming very aggressive in doing things. So I want to know what kind of women will be part of this policies we are talking about, and coming out to be part of the sensitization also that she is talking about.
Okay, so is that all now? All right, thank you so much. Let's move on. Before you react to that, let's get to another caller so we can harness or harvest these questions. Hello?
Hello, good morning. Good afternoon. Is it? Okay, afternoon now.
Yes.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon from Nigeria.
My name is Tom Shinengode. I'm calling from Gwagwarada, Abuja. Thank you. My little contribution is that election, I think nobody will not be interested in who govern him, especially mothers who knows that whatever that happened in the society, they are more affected because the children run with them and all that. So the problem with it is that there are so many things with our elections that make it so difficult for people who with good conscience, who are less violent, to be involved in the process of selecting the leaders. But we thank God that things are changing gradually. The INEC and even the politicians who are tired of doing the wrong thing. So hopefully, I think going forward we'll get it right. Women will always come out to vote if the process they know that is straightforward and is clear, that they will not be victimized. So you are going for an election and you are not sure if you will come back not injured or alive. All those kind of things, they discourage good, reasonable people from going to vote during an election. But this time we pray that it all goes well. At the end of it, good, credible candidates are elected. Thank you.
Okay, so I just want to ask you a question. You called from Gwagwalada Area Council in the Federal Capital Territory. Are you voting on that day, and do you see women coming out as first-hand information because you are a resident in that area? So do you see women coming out with this sensitization, and are you voting on that day?
Actually, in particular, like a gathering of women, I can't say I have that information, but I have some couple of friends who are preparing to go and vote. Me, I've just moved to Gwagwalada, not to Abuja entirely, not long ago. I don't even have my voter's card is in my state.
Okay.
So I'm not voting actually, but people are preparing. But a group of women in particular, I don't think I can give you a credible information on that. But people around are preparing to go and vote, and there's no any sign of even violence, like a kind of peaceful preparation anyway.
Okay, thank you so much for that contribution. We so much appreciate you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
The lines are still buzzing. One more before we react to this question. Thank you for your contribution. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
How are you doing, sir?
I'm fine, sir. My name is Olaiton.
Olaiton from?
I'm calling from Garke.
In Abuja?
Yes, sir.
All right, go ahead. Your contributions.
We have been hearing issues that women have been working on to get more women into power. But my question is this: what are the things that they are still done to get more women to come out to be voted for? Because it can be seen in the last PPP convention, the number of women that came out to vote is low. And in this upcoming AMAC and area council election, the number of women is also low. So my own is that we need more women to come out and be voted for. Then we will now get it right. Because we need the women to be in power.
Okay.
Because they know where the issue is teaching them to solve the problem the women are facing in Nigeria now. Thank you, sir.
If you've been following us where we started earlier, you know that, or you must have heard that.
I just joined us quite long.
Okay, you just joined us. Welcome. Okay. Well, I believe maybe later on we can react to that because there are laws put in place for women to participate in politics right now. We can have a recap before we go. But thank you for your contribution. Let's quickly react to the questions. The first one, he was asking what type of women. I believe maybe he's asking how qualified are these women in politics to probably education, and then also are we expecting a range of maybe the youth. I just want to specify his question right now. Probably he's asking from the number of the age bracket as well as how professional are these women in terms of maybe career-wise or education. So what type of women are we expecting to participate in this election? That was his question.
Okay. Thank you very much. Women that are participating in the elections, whether as voters or as candidates or as electoral stakeholders, are Nigerian women who have fulfilled all the requirements of participating in elections just like men. So they are women who have very high level of competency, who can deliver and who understand the process and are still willing to learn. So the fact that we're organizing this program and talking about women's participation in the election does not foreclose the fact that we are making a case for women to be exempted from the rules. The women who are there, who are going to vote, the ones that have their PVCs and can actively participate in the elections. Those women who are candidates in the election have gone through all the screening processes, and like the men who are also participating, they are also qualified and have been certified qualified by INEC to participate in the election. Okay. For the electoral stakeholders, meaning women who will work as election workers, ad hoc staff, observers, and all of that, security personnel, there are also people who have the relevant prerequisites to participate in the process. So in terms of qualifications, there are rules guiding the game. So no one is exempted from obeying those rules. Okay. I'd also like to respond to the caller who said that it's just moved into Abuja. INEC has a provision, I believe the representative of INEC will speak more on that. They have a provision of transfer of voter information to where you live so that you are not disenfranchised and you can participate in elections. Thank you.
Yes, I believe Madam Chika will just quickly enlighten us on that. So those who have moved from a particular location to another can have their information transferred to their present location in case we are also building up for other elections so that others can be part of the process of voting.
Yes, of course. Thank you. And for transfer of PVC, for those who are coming from other areas other than where they registered, there is room for transfer. You make application, you go to the place where you intend to have where you reside and intend to vote on the election day, and then they will you'll be given a form to complete, and then you will be assigned to the polling unit very close to you to enable you vote on election day. That is for transfer. And even for those who lost their PVC or whose PVCs have been defaced or spoiled, they still have room for being issued a new PVC provided your name is in the voters register.
Okay, so before we take contributions from our WhatsApp portal, we just want you to also talk on security, because our stakeholders from the civil society also made mention of the fact that, from observation, they believe this should be in place and to quell voter apathy. So what is the level of security presence, or what should be on that day?
Yes, in the area of security, like I said earlier, a lot of trainings and retrainings of the security agents who will be working on election day have been done, and then the list harvested, waiting to be posted for election work on election day.
Okay. All right, thank you. It now boils down to us taking some contributions from our WhatsApp portal. We have Kunle from Ogba. He said, I believe women should be given the opportunity to be in position of power, which is absolutely true. Kunle, thank you so much, from Ogba in Lagos State. And also, Victoria from Abuja wants to know, so what about those illiterate or those who are uneducated women? Is there also provision for them, those in the rural area? I believe we've addressed that. And Shakira from Abuja is also asking, what other awareness did they create outside television and radio? Okay, I believe this will be a good one to also react to, knowing fully well that they are women group. There are also other avenues to reach out to these women who may not have access to television and radio information systems. From Madam, anyone available for that can just react to it. Let's hear from you, Madam Felicia.
Just as I said earlier, the relationship with the traditional rulers in FCT, had been targeted from my observation, from the observation of, quite a few women that are out there checking what the situation is before this time, and that gives the rural women the opportunity to know what's going on. That gives them the opportunity to have information, for this season. And I can assure us that they haven't really been left out. You'll be amazed at the kind of knowledge that they have and the way they actually get themselves together to think and talk, about the election that is up and coming. I really need to commend INEC, because I know they had gone out to do quite a lot of sensitization prior to this time, because the outcome of their sensitization is what we are seeing. So for citizens that are asking if the rural women are part of this whole process, they are not left out. Okay. They are actually very active, and record has shown that they are the ones that actually vote. So we take this opportunity to ask our sisters that are in the urban centers, to actually come out and vote. They should leave their televisions and they can go with their phones and watch whatever video, get information they at the polls. So they should come out and actually vote, because those in the rural areas know what they want. They have been sensitized enough, and they are willing to go out there and vote.
All right, let's quickly get this caller. Hello, good afternoon. Hello? Well, if you can hear. All right. Good afternoon, you're live. Hello?
Hello.
Welcome, you're live on the program. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon. Yes, I can. All right, let's quickly know your name and where you're
calling from.
Yes, my name is Shola from Ikeja.
All right. Shola from Ikeja. All right, contributions or questions? Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for this program. It's really enlightening, and I appreciate all the women.
Okay.
So I just want to ask that, why is it that women have a lot of yardstick when it comes to political positions, unlike for men? We hear them saying, are these women qualified? Are these women, able to handle these positions? But there are a lot of men in power who does not have this kind of queries, and they are not qualified to be in this position. So why is it that women have a lot to be accountable for before they can be given positions?
All right, but I hope we all got that question. But I want to ask Madam Felicia again. She asked quite a very a question that I must say is related to maybe patriarchy in a society whereby you find out that men are always domineering or taking position. So what are those factors limiting women specifically, and also why are so much attributions to women, the gender as well? So this is the way I can best express what she is trying to say, and then you can react to that question, please.
You're actually right. These are stereotypical questions and statements that a lot of people make, particularly men. Can they do it? Can the women do it? Are they qualified? Do they have the strength? Do they have the capacity? All those questions that shouldn't come at all. But because of the patriarchal nature of our society, such questions will pop up. But the fact remains that the answers are actually out there. You go to law school, during graduation, you see that quite a number of women are leading, and they become lawyers, and they meet men in courts, and they do well, they win their cases.
Okay.
They are women. The same thing, we have women engineers, we have women in all professions. We have women, running key positions in different sectors in this country. So any of these women that want to contest election or want to lead in any of these positions or in similar positions in governance, they are qualified to do it. And the women that are there currently have done good jobs. We have records of good things they have done.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Before we go further, the lines are buzzing, so we don't want to lose all these callers at this time. So let's just quickly attend to one or two, then we get back and address completely that thought. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Very well, thank you.
All right, so what's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Felicia.
Hey, where are you calling from?
Abuja.
Okay, then I'll just ask the question or you have a contribution. Please go ahead.
I have a question, but I must commend the women at the studio in ensuring that women participation is increased in Nigeria. However, now to my question. What is being done to ensure that 2023 more women participate and beyond? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. We heard that. And then another caller is standing by. Hello, good afternoon. Hello. Hello, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Welcome to the program, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
All right, quickly, just ask the question or you have your contribution.
Yeah, this is MacArthur calling from Lagos State. I want to know that we all know that there are two major parties in Nigeria, PDP and APC, and they must produce the next president 2023. But I'm yet to see any woman coming up from one of these parties to see me that the women don't want to rule this country. Why are they not coming out?
All right, thank you so much for that. All right, now let's just quickly react to this. We have about 4 minutes to wrap it up, and I must say we would take your contributions if they are on WhatsApp in less than a minute after the question to answer. Now, moving forward, female candidacy in 2023 from the first caller, and then also more women in politics as well. They are clamoring for more. So how do we address this? We are looking beyond just the FCT area council polls. Now, moving to candidacy in 2023. I believe Mufuliat can react to that.
Okay, thank you. Looking beyond the FCT elections, female candidacy is very important in our election. As we've mentioned earlier on, inclusion is critical to any successful democracy. We've been encouraging women to come out to vote. We know that to come out to vote and be voted for.
Okay.
We know that there are challenges of money politics, there are challenges of cultural barriers, family dictations and all of that. But the fact that we even have some women who have been able to beat those barriers to come out and contest in election is an indication that many more women can actually beat that and can come out to contest in election. So we encourage women to be who they are and be able to participate actively in the electoral process.
All right, on the path of Felicia, continuous voters registration. Well, just react to first the question on candidacy in 2023.
Candidacy, there are many women interested in coming up. And the issue is the inter-party democracy.
Okay.
And that has to be addressed.
All right.
And I know that people are engaging with the different political parties.
Now, this is an opportunity the Nigerian women have been waiting for, and this is a stepping stone to win the gender and equal opportunities right in political spaces. On this note, I'd like to say thanks to our guests. There are lots of questions we would have loved to address today. Now, but I just want to say one word, final word from our guests in the studio right now, because we were diving into the issue of patriarchy. But just finalize from you, and then we'll just wrap it up at this point.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Felicia was addressing us on patriarchy and all that. So just 10 seconds.
political parties should please put culture by their side and actually look at men and women as
women should realize that INEC has put in place a lot of measures that favors them to for them to take this opportunity to be involved in the electoral process.
Okay, thank you everyone, and to our callers and everyone who made it through and those who tried. We appreciate you. Remember, on this note, we'd like to say thanks to our guest speakers, Mufuliat Fijabi, the CEO of Nigerian Women Trust Fund, Osuji Chika, Deputy Director, Gender Relations, the Gender and Inclusivity Department at INEC, as well as Felicia Onibon, the National Coordinator, 100 Women Lobby Group. Now, this program is a simulcast on WRAPA 100.5 FM and Women Radio 91.7 Lagos in partnership with Nigerian Women Trust Fund, as well as Women Politics Forum, ElectHer, 100 Women Lobby Group, and supported by the MacArthur Foundation. Thanks to the production crew of WRAPA, Isai Lams, and others, Taiwo Adeleye, as well as Mike Eke Paul from Lagos, and everyone who made it through from WFM. My name is Osaro Ihato. It's been a pleasure doing this with you. Do have a splendid afternoon.
Thank you so much for listening to the program today. A simulcast on Women Radio 91.7 and WRAPA 100.5. Thank you to all our guest speakers, Mufuliat Fijabi, the CEO of Nigerian Women Trust Fund, NWTF, Felicia Onibon, National Coordinator, 100 Women Lobby Group, Osuji Chika, Deputy Director, Gender Relations, GNI, INEC, and also to our partners, Nigerian Women Trust Fund, Women's Rights Advancement and Protection Alternative, WRAPA, Women in Politics Forum, ElectHer, 100 Women Lobby Group, and MacArthur Foundation. I want to say a big thank you to the engineer on duty, Michael Akipol, production crew of Taiwo Adeleye, and all the team at WRAPA FM Abuja. Good afternoon. Thank you for listening. Stay tuned to WFM 91.7.
WFM 91.7.